want to give coins to the family, okay? Could
I have one for you, and they couldn't bring anything inside.
And the Secret Service, well, you'll get it to me. Hi, nice.
My name is Emma.
Oh, hi, Emma.
Very Keller.
Very good. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, you ready, Emma? We're going to sign this, okay?
Okay.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You take care of yourself. You can hold that. At least for a little while. So let's do this candle lighting, and it's very beautiful.
What an absolutely beautiful morning as the president has brought in angel families and declared the Angel Family Day for February 22nd. That date was chosen because that is the day in remembrance of Laken Riley, who was killed by an illegal immigrant on February 22nd, 2024. And right now, I mean, you heard the president talking about the music that will play while he signs the proclamation. But right now, those families, obviously, with the passage of time, are telling their stories, but the president said that that pain will always be there and that time can help. He's hoping that he can make a difference with a day like today, recognizing those angel families and the speakers. I want to say their names. Laura Wilkinson, the mom of Joshua, killed by an illegal immigrant in 2010. Marie Vega, mom of Javier Vega Jr., who died at the hands of an illegal immigrant in 2014. Allison Phillips, the mother of Laken Riley. Laken was killed in 2024. Tammy Nobles, mother of Kayla Hamilton, killed by MS-13 gang members in 2022. Patty Morin, mother of Rachel Morin, killed in 2023. And Jody Jones, that father that we just saw, his brother was actually killed by violent illegal alien. And some of the stories included a grandmother saying that she had to pick up an AK-47 and fire back at the cartel members who had killed her son. The stories were memorable, they were touching, and they were important. And the president acknowledges that. Many thanks to him from those family members for caring and taking action to tighten that border. And we'll get to more about what's going on south of the border this morning. I want to start here, though. Forecasters just got this in. And while it's not over yet, this is live look now on Avenue of the Americas in New York City. Those forecasters likely saved lives with that huge heads up to halt almost all travel across several states along the eastern seaboard. Keep people inside. Write it out. This historic nor'easter spawned blizzard conditions, power outages, and is still adding to the huge snow totals as we speak, affecting some 40 million people. I'm Harris Faulkner. You are in the Faulkner Focus. PowerOutage.com is reporting more than 600,000 customers without utilities across the Northeast right now. And they say brace, that number will rise as 50 to 60 mile-per-hour wind gusts continue. And air travel in the region essentially at a standstill at this point. More than 10,000 flights canceled yesterday into today, some 8,700 delayed so far. Oh no, look, the number just went up because we got our heads up while we were gone. Put that back up because we've gone beyond 8,700 now. So we got that update at 11 a.m. straight up. The president was at the Angel program that he was giving and recognizing those angel families for the new Angel Family Day. And those totals have now jumped up again. So we're keeping a close watch every time they update. We'll show you this hour. The first foot or so of snow was fluffy and kind of flushy. Well, now, fluffy and slushy, as I call it. That heavier wet snow is a great problem, sitting on utility lines and caking roads and bridges and runways, as you might imagine. It is heavy to move it. Densely populated areas dealing with this at this hour, New York City in particular. Officials declaring it one of the toughest winters in city history.
As beautiful as it is, it's hard, it's dangerous for a lot of people.
Just gonna be another day of trying to clean up a lot more snow and running out of spaces to put it.
We'll take it, because it's coming, no matter what we say, but I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm ready for spring.
Alexis McAdams in Central Park. Alexis.
Harris, yeah, it's becoming a big mess on the streets, and it's really piling up here in Central Park. So look around me. This is 15 inches and counting of snow right here in Central Park. And as you mentioned, it's that really messy stuff, right? Like with the, not so much the little bits that blow around like the last system that came in just a few weeks ago. This is like packing snow. So once they try to remove it from the streets, it just kind of comes right back in. And in Central Park, the only way you can get around here basically is if you're on foot, and that's what they want. There's a travel ban here as well. So I want to take a listen as well to what Mayor Mamdani is saying as he's telling people they need your help trying to shovel. Watch.
They say no five.
As well, so I just wanted to show you over here what we're seeing as well, Harris, in this area of Central Park. So the main issue with this snow as well is that it's going to kind of pack up and fall onto those lines as well for, you know, the electric, and that's why so many people across the Northeast are without power, because it's really just that heavy snow. And then with the bomb cyclone, what happens is you move it in really quickly, and then the pressure continues to drop, the visibility drops too. So it's not really, you know, as much of a nuisance as it was last time, as really is just a danger here. So we haven't heard of any major injuries or anything like that in New York City, but I did think it was interesting, Harris, the bite that I was going to talk about with Mamdani, the mayor here in New York City. He's trying to do better this time than they did last time because it took so long to clean up. You saw it in the streets of New York. There's still snow underneath this new stuff that was there for weeks, but he's asking for emergency shovelers. So he's saying, hey, bring your shovel, come be a city employee, and you can help us clean the streets, because you knew last time people were pretty upset about it. You got to bring a few forms of ID. So people are wondering, do you need more IDs in New York City, Harris, to shovel than you do to vote? We'll have to talk to them about that.
Yeah, no, we're hearing a lot about that, especially in social media right now. And you could choose among, I understood, 4 different types of ID, but you needed to scoop up at least 2. You need that almost for a real ID.
Yeah.
You need more for a real ID. But your point is well taken in terms of, you know, they just want to get people out there and get them working, but they've got some red tape, the mayor says, that they have to get through. Thank you very much for that report. Appreciate it always. Chaos and violence to get to in Mexico after Mexican forces killed a notorious cartel boss and a U.S.-backed operation over the weekend. President Trump has been pressuring that government to take action to stem the tide of drugs and humans trafficked to the United States. The killing triggered violence across the state of Jalisco. Of course, it's pretty easy to trigger cartel members. They kill anyway. That includes Puerto Vallarta, a very popular vacation destination with a lot of people, particularly because of the proximity, Americans. Gunmen set fire to cars and buildings, and the sound of gunfire was heard for hours. People describing it. The State Department is urging American tourists to shelter in place, and we just got this notice a few minutes ago, actually, and I want to look down and read this. This says that Americans to shelter in place, that order is still very much in effect this morning, and this is in all caps, all Americans in Mexico should reach out for security information to the numbers that they have provided. And I have some in our team social media on the Faulkner Focus across all platforms. You've got it there on your screen. Screenshot this. If you have family, friends, loved ones in Mexico, make sure they get this information. And there are quite a few areas other than Puerto Vallarta that are on the list from the U.S. Embassy of Mexico for people to be sheltering in place. So make sure that information if you think you can reach the ones you love south of the border. Meanwhile, several airlines have halted flights in and out of that resort city that you're seeing partially burn on screen.
We saw a car on fire, saw another car on fire. Stopped, our driver kind of asked somebody, because we're in a little bit of traffic, hey, what's going on? They showed like a metal piece, so there was like a bunch of pieces thrown onto the road. We get to the airport, we were supposed to leave at 11, so we're one of the last ones to board. They started rushing us because there's like some movement going on. I saw like some smoke coming out nearby the airport.
Jillian Turner is with me now at the State Department. Jillian, this was really jarring late yesterday as people were posting from all over, wherever they were in Mexico, if they could get messages out to family and on social media, they were under attack.
That's right, Harris. And even officials here at the State Department were caught off guard and surprised by the violent response we saw from the Jalisco cartel and some of the competing cartels yesterday. I just got off the phone now with a senior State Department official who emphasized that those shelter-in-place orders for Americans in the areas surrounding Puerto Vallarta and in Puerto Vallarta are very much in effect. That chaos, violence, the unrest we saw yesterday, still in effect today. Mexican authorities are releasing some new information now. They are reporting 27 arrests made in Jalisco in connection with violence since El Mencho's killing yesterday. This comes after 27 security personnel and 30 criminals have been killed in the ensuing cartel warfare. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum has been briefing her public. Take a quick listen.
The most important thing at this moment is to guarantee the peace and security of the entire population of all of Mexico.
The Deputy Secretary of State says despite the chaos, taking out El Mencho is a great thing for the U.S., for Mexico, for all of Latin America. He writes in part, quote, calling El Mencho one of the bloodiest and most ruthless drug kingpins. He says, I'm watching the scenes of violence from Mexico with great sadness and concern. It is not surprising. The bad guys are responding with terror. Those bad guys, El Mencho's criminal henchmen, responding to his killing with arson attacks. Dozens of Americans on the scene got caught up in the cartel's crosshairs yesterday. Airport footage captured panicked travelers trying to flee. Flights were all grounded, scenes resembling a war zone. Experts say the security situation on the ground could in fact get worse before it gets better. Take a listen.
Now each one of these cartels, with El Mencho being taken out, all these leaders of these smaller cartels are all going to try and vie for that top dog spot, and they're going to fight.
So Harris, yesterday the Pentagon was emphasizing all the credit for this successful covert operation goes to Mexican authorities. But today we are learning new detail about the United States' role in the effort to take him out. We were told that U.S. intelligence shared some key information with Mexican authorities that they then used to take him out. Harris.
Yeah, a member of my team just handed me this about the role that we played in all of that. And so I imagine throughout the day, as you just said, Jillian, we'll learn more and more. Thank you very much for getting us started on this topic. Mark Lamb is the former Pinal County, Arizona sheriff that sometimes will join us on big border discussions. He's done some roundtables with us here on the Faulkner Focus. He is all too familiar with the destruction caused by Mexican drug cartels. You fought against this your whole career. Talk to me about what is going on right now south of the border with this one gang, this one cartel going after Americans. They set a Costco on fire.
Well, good morning to you, Harris, and thanks for having me on. Look, this just shows the capabilities that these cartels have. This is why you have to take them out. They are terrorists. This is exactly what they're doing in Puerto Vallarta. What they are doing is burning buses, lighting gas stations on fire, because they want to create terror for those who struck a nerve. This is a good sign, though, because I'm in the best way possible, I can say that. This is a good sign because we did touch a nerve with this cartel. And one of your other guests was right. This will create compression amongst those other cartels. We may see more violence stem from this, but what we're seeing right now is their capability for violence, and this should awake Americans up. This is why it's so important to close our borders.
Look, the shelter-in-place situation, and there's a list. I want to tell everybody I have pulled it and pinned it atop my my own X account, Harris Faulkner, so you can get all those numbers and connections for the U.S. Embassy. We will mirror that on the Faulkner Focus pages as well. Mark Lamb, I'm just wondering, what would you say to people right now about the stability of Mexico? Because it looks like the President, Sheinbaum, was ready for what is coming and had some decision-making in this whole process. No matter how we may have aided them, they were ready to go.
Well, I think, Harris, you have to say there's some instability there. Just look at the smoke and look at the fact that you're having to lock people down. they're having a tough time getting control of this. We see that they're making arrests. They've killed a bunch of them. They're going to get on top of this. But like I go back to what I said, this shows just how capable these cartels are. This JjjJesus, they've got RPGs, they've got grenades, they've got countless bodies they can continue to bring forward to the front line. These are very violent people, including El Mencho. He was very violent. He made his way up through the ranks of the assassin squads. He was known for Los Matacetas, which means they killed the Cetas, who were very capable cartel and protectors of cartels themselves. So this is not a guy who wasn't familiar with violence, nor his people. And so I think they've created some level of instability right now, but ultimately, hopefully they can regain control.
Look, you talked about the many different cartels down there. We have certainly caused some instability for them with putting pressure on going after them from inside Mexico and shutting down our border for all intents and purposes. They cannot get through on any day right now under President Trump.
Absolutely. President Trump came in and we saw a difference immediately. We've seen it nationwide with the reduction of fentanyl poisonings and the amount of drugs that are coming in. Even here in our county where I was the sheriff, we're seeing much larger drug seizures, which means they have a tougher time getting it in. The amount of humans they were able to traffic has decreased, which has decreased the cash flow that they have had. This has created a lot of pressure and compression, like I said, for these cartels. And Mencho was one of them. And so you see this infighting, and now this is going to create another avenue for other cartels to take over some of those channels of drug trafficking that this cartel had.
I know one of the cartel leaders, real quickly, I'll end with this one for you, had declared war on the United States and our Western allies. What do you make of it, and what brings what we see on the screen to a halt?
Well, we're the last people you want to lock horns with. We will whoop you. So we should have crushed these terrorists and these cartels a long time ago, and I'm glad that President Trump is finally showing the appetite for it. Mexico needs to understand they got to get on board. You have to crush these, because if you don't, you're going to continue to see what you're seeing right now in Mexico in places like Guadalajara and Puerto Vallarta.
Mark Lamb, thank you for being with me. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Well, we are tracking that historic blizzard that is now sweeping across the Northeast and on up north and still dumping snow, driving up those snow totals. Massive, life-threatening, freezing travel on the roads and in the air. But as I mentioned, those totals for flights and things keep going up. So I saw another few hundred on both sides, cancellations and delays, when we flipped it up on the screen just then. We'll keep doing that. Plus, one chamber, two political parties, all eyes on tomorrow's State of the Union address from our president. It's been dividing Democrats in particular for weeks now. Some are warning against a repeat of last year's theatrics.
I do hope all the other Democrats that choose to come, that we don't do the same kinds of things that happened at the last year. It was really undignified. I'm always going to pick country over party.
The political risk for Democrats from the left. Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell in Focus next.